everybody, it's Jen here doing my 5th process video. This video is being done with my February hip kit. This is my first layout with this kit, and this is also a weekend challenge on the hip kit member forum. We were given a layout of Missy's, who is on the design team, to scrap lift. So I really liked her colors that she had picked, and I liked all the layering that she had done. She only had one photo and I used 4, but I did them sort of in a grid all together, so very similar. I used, as I said, similar colors, but mixed them up a little bit. I tend to like simple patterns in the backgrounds. So I picked ones that were a little bit simpler for the top and the bottom, and then put the busier pattern in the middle where she had done this really neat sort of ripped effect. So I'm just layering these all up with papers that I pulled from the 6x6 paper pad. I really like 6x6 paper pads now, and because the pattern is smaller, and so it's really great for doing layering like this. It's not busy, but you still kind of get a look at what it's like. And right here, sorry I'm off camera a little bit, I'm still waiting for the clamp for my iPhone, and so it's really tough for me to get underneath the tripod on my desk, but I'm just ripping some of the layers in. They're all ripped sort of in a different spot, you know, top or bottom or side. Missy had done that as well, and I thought it added some neat dimension. And I'm just cutting. I had used that die cut for another challenge last week, and I had some bits left over, so I was adding that to the side as well. I think she had had sort of a white circle die cut in there, so I thought I would add that piece as well. So I think I'm just about done with this cluster there. Yep. And I'm going to work on my background now. I totally goofed this up. So I pulled from my stash that super ugly piece of cardstock, and I use those when I'm doing backgrounds like this, just to keep the background stable, because I'm just putting cut pieces of paper, and I don't want to use up a whole sheet of pattern paper if I'm just going to be ripping it. So I used this circle paper from Webster's Pages as the piece in the middle that you see when the other pieces are ripped. And I used that, I think that's We Are Memory Keepers. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me, with the pink, and it sort of looks like watercolor dots on it. So I used that for the top, and then I thought I was being really smart, and I was using the bottom, the back, with the green with sort of the pink paint look on the edges on the bottom. But what I realized is, because they didn't overlap, they were exactly the 12 by 12, what was going to happen is I hadn't cut that piece of Webster's Pages big enough. And then I realized, because I had cut it off of the bottom, because I was trying to get those color of circles, it wasn't going to match. So you see there, I'm looking at it, I'm trying to match it up. It doesn't match, and so I cut a piece anyways, and it doesn't work. So there you see that I try anyways to put it down, and the seams, of course, don't match at all. And so then I try to do my rip and keep that bottom piece the same size. And lo and behold, all I can see is the seam, and I think it looks terrible. But then I realized later, the title that I'm using is a big piece of chipboard. I probably could have put it on in a way that would have hidden it, instead of cutting into my second piece of this paper that I really like. But you know what? That's just what happens sometimes when you're creating, and you're inspired, and you're in a rush, and you just want to do it. So, and probably the other smarter thing too would have been to just cut a bigger piece of the Webster's Pages paper with the circles on it. Can't talk today apparently, and put that underneath, but whatever. It's okay. That's what I did. Moving on. So now I'm pulling out the chipboard, and it's actually chipboard from the January kit that I had saved. It was a Valentine's collection from Crate Paper. I'm blanking on the name. It's got love. I'm thinking love notes. I'm not 100% sure on that though. So I actually pulled all of the pieces that I had left off and used my little EK Success powder tool on the back to de-sticky them and pulled them all out to use with this, because this is actually a Valentine's Day layout from this year that I used, just pictures from where we went as a family this year, and I had deliberately saved the Happy Valentine's Day to use on this. We don't tend to do specific stuff on Valentine's Day, my husband and I. We tend to wait and do stuff either before Valentine's Day or after Valentine's Day, because neither one of us is really all that keen on crowds. So I wouldn't have had a need for that Happy Valentine's Day for any pictures from before. So I saved it though for this one, and here I just edited a big chunk out. I had gone through the little die cut pack that we got with the February kit and pulled out ones that were in the colors, and I also pulled, and I fortunately it was right in the middle and I accidentally edited out some of the wood veneer pieces also we got from Evalicious, and there's a little tiny one at the top there with a heart. There's a black tag, and I've used one of the flare. There's a heart flower, sorry, up at the top there, and then I pulled a piece of chipboard from the Notes and Things chipboard piece that we got from in the February kit as well, just because there was none of that sort of greeny blue color at the top, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just pink and black. Just trying to balance it a little bit with the colors. So I'm just playing around right now with the pieces that I pulled out, seeing what I like. It's going to stay fairly similar, but what I've done is I took a picture and I pulled everything off. I did take all the stuff that I'd used as clusters and stuck it down, and I apologize, I accidentally edited out as well on that bottom corner. I had put some stuff in, you'll see it on the close-ups. In Missy's layout, she had done color behind the big main cluster. I wasn't feeling brave enough after already having to cut into 2 pieces of full-size cardstock or pattern paper to try that, because I didn't want to wreck the paper. So what I did instead was a method I know how to use, and it was using texture paste with this Heidi Swap stencil from my stash, and put some hearts in sort of 3 sections. So the top left, the bottom right, and then sort of the middle left side as well. Sorry, top right, bottom right, middle on the left side. So yeah, I'm just doing that. This stencil I think is more of a misting stencil, so my texture paste was a little bit chunky, and I found I had to really layer it on there for it to be a clear image. But it looks fine. I think it looks neat, and it adds what I was looking for, which was just a little bit of dimension and some interest around the cluster, the way that Missy had done it. I am going to use some scrap papers and practice that method that she did with the color around it, because I do think it looks really cool. It's sort of almost like a halo of color around. So here I'm just starting to stick things down, and as I had mentioned, that bottom right corner there, I added the 14, I added a puffy sticker, another piece of wood veneer, a couple pieces of die cuts from that My Mind's Eye kit from February, or that pack from February, and then I'm just popping this chipboard title up on foam squares, and I'm also doing that for that flower there. I liked how the flower just sort of filled in that space in between the top of the H on the happy and the cluster of layers in the photos. And I'm just tucking in a tag there that I stamped with the Heidi Swap date stamp, and it says February 14th, 2015. And I am now gluing down these arrows that were also from the January chipboard kit. And I added one little heart wood veneer on the top there, and then again I added a blue piece that says beautiful, I think. And that was also from the My Mind's Eye die cut pack. It was just, everything, it was too pink and I needed to add a little bit of blue. So that was the right size and fit in the space. So now I'm doing my journaling, and that green paper already had sort of rough lines on it. So I just used those and kept it rough for my journaling. And I'm just explaining where we went, and that we had met friends and that we had a great day. It was very enjoyable. We went to opening day of a fish and chip place and went for a walk by the ocean with our friends, who we hadn't seen in a long time, and it was a good day. So I'm just finishing it off. I'm just drawing a couple little hearts on the ends of the lines. And here I'm using some Heidi Swap Black Velvet Color Shine. I really need to figure out a good black ink because I really love the look of the big black splatters, and this mist just does not do that. So I'm using the end of the wand trying to get it really full of paint to make the bigger spots, but it just is not the same sort of splatty look. Is that a word? Splatty? It's not the same look anyways. So layout's all done. Here's your close-ups. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.